You know that you have nothing to do in Rise of Kings, you're waiting for the fighting. You're like, alright, let's check YouTube out. Maybe there's a new interesting video being uploaded. So you're going through your subscriptions, and that's what I did. And I saw then a new video from Mafu being uploaded 1 day ago, or almost 2 days ago now. And in that video, he sent something which made me think about the current state of our KVK, and if people really see that it's as fucked as it looks like, or is it actually not being cooked and we have a chance to win. So I was watching the video, and let me just share you what he have said there in that video. In one sentence, which made me thought about it.
I got word that 74 and 84, the two kingdoms that got zone locked, have a lot of their players migrating back to play KVK 2 again. They don't want to be zone locked for the rest of KVK, and a lot of their players just decided to repeat, which is...
There we have it. He heard that 84 and 74 want to migrate out. Want to migrate out of his KVK because both of them are zone locked. We lost one of our allies, 73, before Pass 4 opened. And the only one which is not locked is ourselves, 3-7. So now a lot of people think and say, yeah, this one is over, right? 3-7. It's a 1v5. Look at the map. Look at the map, guys, right? How can they win? How can they possibly win, right? And now, here's the thing, right? Here's the thing, guys. If you're looking on the map, from the look, it says we are cooked, right? But is that really the reality? Is that really the case? So I just don't want to, give you a black and white side. I want you to look inside. I want to look at the gray post. I want to think about what already happened with KVK. And that's what I want to cover in this video. I want to go through a few points from my perspective. I want to go through, show you why it might be actually not being cooked. And we covered some of these fighting, right? We covered that. And more about that after the video intro. So stay tuned and let's start with the video. Alright guys, we are in game. Before we're gonna start talking about the different topics which I want to bring up and why you shouldn't just look on the black and white, you should look inside and on the gray, right? Because it's not as easy. It's just not two sides, right? In this KVK, in my opinion. So if you go ahead, we go over here, Alliance Powers, and then we're gonna see something significantly, right? We do see 72 at 7 billion power. We do have BS at 6.6 billion power, right? So they basically can 1v1 72 just from the power. Don't get them to my comments saying, but 72 got more high power hitters. We're just talking about the stats, right? About the power from the alliances. We do have 7 billion, almost 7.1 billion versus, if you round it up, 6.6 billion. Then we got BB, which is my alliance, which is a little bit down in power. I think we are like 6 billion when we have all our members in. So yeah, we have another top alliance, right, which is basically matching the top 2 alliances from 72. But then we go ahead and look at BP, we're at 4.7 billion almost, and we're scrolling down, and we're scrolling down, and we see there's something missing, right? There's something missing, guys. We don't see another 5 billion alliance, almost 5 billion alliance. No. The third strongest from 72 is 3.8 billion, which is basically being matched by our fourth alliance, 3.8 billion. We're scrolling more down. We're scrolling more down. And we see the next one from 72 would be at 2 billion power. So from the top 4 perspective between 72 and 77, it's a 2.7 billion diff, right? So that, before we're gonna go into the further discussion about this KVK. Now, of course, you might asking yourself, but Beast, you're facing a 1v5. Why you think you still have a chance to win? Well, there's a few points, right? So, first of all, it is not clear. At least I have not a 100% proof that 74 and 84 migrating out, right? If they're not migrating out, 74, for example, have here an alliance with 4.2 billion power as well, right? Just for example. Also, we should not forget the pure amount of fighting they did already in the Zone 4. Let me bring up YouTube again. We're gonna go over to my channel because I covered a couple of days on the streaming. We go ahead to live and we see that, right, 2 weeks ago I made the live stream about we got betrayed. And when we had passed for opening, which was 11 days ago, then 10 days, 9 days ago. And then 3 days ago, there was a stream about our allies got locked. So that was basically so they fought a little bit over 1 week in Zone 4, right? And here's the thing. I have, if we go back to Matthew, we're gonna go to
What's going on YouTube and
that video. And we're scrolling down into the comments. I found an interesting comment from Safest, right? Let's read that up. This KVK is basically only 72 versus 77 left. 81, 82 got drained by 84. 76 and 73 got drained and were losing against 74 for most of the fight, which we covered. Right? 74 proved himself and stood their ground. So the only actual opponent left is 72, which I believe we will win as we have a whole 5 billion power worth of players, more than 72 in our top 4. Our 72 top 3 is equal to our top 4. What we also have covered in the beginning of the video. Zone 5 scores. 74, well, I guess it means, yeah. 74 got 7.7 billion K points, 74.4 main deaths. 76 plus 73 gained 6.7 billion KP and 74 main deaths. 84 gained 3.1 billion K points, 22.1 billion deaths. And 82 plus 81 gained 2.7 billion K points and 16.4 main deaths. Right? I always say numbers don't lie, right? I think we all can just look up on Apple's stream, for example, who's started, who's, you know, or my stream where we had the passport opening. I'm pretty sure we covered where the statistics also went, and then we can just look up. So there's no reason to lie about that, right? So if you're just looking at the stats, you see that both our allies did better than the other two, right? And now think about that. If a 1v2 is happening and you're trading positively, how does that make sense? Hello everyone, it's me who's currently cutting the video. I just saw that it might be a little bit of misunderstanding what I said in the video, in terms of that if you look on the zone 5 scores, yes, 74 and 84 traded positively. However, we should not forget that 76 and 73, as well as 82 and 81, is still two kingdoms. So that means they have overall more players. That means overall they have invested less resources and speed ups positively, right? It doesn't mean it is guaranteed that both of these teams have invested more than 74 and 84 did. However, that I would assume that since the fighting were as long going on as it was, especially on the 74 side, and we saw that 76, for example, lost heavily in terms of field pressure, pre-presence, the longer the fight were going. So that's why I assume that both of these teams are pretty drained, and that's why it was in our favor. And that's why I think 74 and 84 won the zone 5 in terms of stats because of that, right? Or like that's why they traded better than they did. Of course, you cannot see from everyone's of your enemies the inventory, but based on how the fighting were looking, that's my personal preference and my personal opinion. That yeah, that's how I see it. All right, I sent you back to the video. See ya. So there's a few reasons. So either your marches are that good, but you're just killing them and you trading positive because of that, or your activity is better and you have overall more players, and that's why you can match up the 1 versus 2. Or your micromanagement is just better, and it ends up costing your enemies, which would be in that case 76 and 73 versus 74, or 82 and 81 versus 84, more troops and more resources. And I think a lot of people forgetting about, especially about the fight what 74 brought up, that a lot, like these kingdoms, all of these kingdoms which are listed here are pretty drained, right? They gave everything in that zone. Like, I mean, they had to do that, right? For our allies, they had to give up everything what they could, and our enemies just tried to hold them back, right? To deny us the win, to reduce our win chances in this KVK, right? So that's why for both sides, this zone opening was such crucial. For our side, to get our allies not being locked, which unfortunately happened, and for the enemy side, you know, locking our allies and succeeding as our enemy over that, not only hitting your in some types of the mental, right, but it's also putting a lot of pressure on us, because now we're facing technically a 1v5. But I think a lot of people forgetting about this important part, that these kingdoms are actually pretty drained, right? And we saw that in the in game when I streamed, or when Apple streamed, or you know, someone else. You could see that the longer the fight were going, 76 activity got lower, less people every day. 73 less people. Until at some point 74 said, I assume 74 said, okay guys, we cannot hold this for another 2 weeks. Let's just get out. We drained them very good. We got our positive key points gaining. Let's just recover and prepare for the next zone. Or what Matthew said, they said and decided we're gonna migrate out, right? So both of these ways could be happening. I think if they would migrate out, it would be unlucky, of course, because even though they lost a lot of their stuff already in the zone 5, it's not like they're completely useless, right? So is 76, 73. It's just a matter of that they showing up, doing, putting out everything what they can. And they did already so much in that zone 5, right? So it would be, in my opinion, a little bit sad if they migrating out for another KVK2 instead of, you know, giving this a chance and fighting alongside us and going for the win and putting them into their zone force, right? So that's what I wanted to cover here. I thought that was quite interesting. Yes, we had a betray. Yes, it is now 1v5 facing us in zone 6. Yes, it's a higher chance now that we're losing, but I think a lot of people forgetting about the part that all of these 6 kingdoms fought to their death. They fought with everything what they had. And they are basically drained, right? And remember, all of these low power players, 16, 20, 25 million, they don't have as many speed up, they don't have as many resources, right? So I kind of agreeing to the point that it's basically 72 versus 77 left. In that way of, you know, where we which of the kingdoms can fight the longest now. Obviously it's 72 versus 77. But it is for sure not an easy win, right? It's not. It's still 1v5 at the end. We still need to free our allies from the zone 4 lock. But I think it's not as cooked as people putting it up, right? In my opinion, we have a chance to win, right? Obviously, I believe. And even if we would have, even if my leaders would say we have a 0% of chance of winning this, I would still go out. I would still go fight. I would still enjoy the game, and fight what I can do. With everything what I have, doesn't matter to me. I think that's more important, right? Than to look up and just say, oh yeah, we're losing. Okay, I'm not gonna fight anymore. I think that's a wrong approach. So let's see what this KVK brings up. I'm pretty sure we're gonna have a lot of fighting going on versus 72. Let's see how the other 6 kingdoms gonna react towards the next zone opening happening. I'm looking forward for that. And I think we got a good chance. I think we got a good chance, guys. So let's see. I hope you're gonna watch the streams, which I'm gonna do about with zone fighting. I think it's gonna be very entertaining. We're gonna look forward, and yeah, with that, guys, I hope you have enjoyed this little video. Thanks everyone for watching it, and I wish you a great rest of the day. Have a great start into the next day. Let me know in the comments what you think, guys. Let's have a respectful discussion going on. Let's bring up your opinion, why you think our side is cooked, or bring arguments against that and explain why you agree with me. Do you have the similar thoughts, or maybe you have something else what I haven't covered here in the video. So yeah, thanks everyone, stay healthy, and we see us then soon on the next one.